Coming up next, I'm going to give advice to women that are leaving the workforce, and then why the minimum wage hike is anti-human. And we take your calls. It starts right now. I am coming to you live from Ramsey Solutions Studios in Nashville, and you are joining a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how you get there. It is about your purpose in your work, and I can tell you, you do have a purpose, and you can make it come to life through your work. Now, you're not all about your work. That's not what we're saying. What we're saying is that you were created to work. Most people think that you work to live. In other words, to make money, pay the bills. If there's a little left over, we enjoy life with that. But what if you were created to work? What if you live to work? In other words, you live to contribute, to make the world around you a better place. What if it's not about you? What if work isn't about you? What if it's about others? Well, I believe it is. And so we're thrilled to have you with us. So if that's something you're embracing, you're going, hey, Ken, I want to figure out what my calling is. I want to know what the dream job is. I want to know what I was created to do. I don't want to figure out how to get there. Or I know what it is. I just don't know how to get there. Or I know what it is. I know how to get there, but I'm scared. Or I'm dealing with some money problems holding me back. I'm your guy. I'm your coach, your counselor, and your cheerleader. You're one phone call away from clarity, which will give you confidence to move forward. 844-747-2577. That is the toll-free number to jump in. Phone lines are open. They're almost full. Folks are ready to go today. 844-747-2577. Before we get to the phones, Time Magazine headline: women are leaving the workforce in droves. Why is this happening? Two major reasons. Number one, there is the natural attrition from the workforce when women decide to go home for family reasons. That's a simple bucket. That's one reason. But the other reason that has led to this is the pandemic and schools being shut down in many states. When kids aren't in school, we have a child care problem, and we are seeing professional women that have worked so hard to get where they are have to come home because they got to take care of their kids. And so this article from Time Magazine, I think, really good article, and I want to call out some things. 2.3 million women have left the workforce since the start of the pandemic. That is a staggering number. And it's been worse, this pandemic, as it relates to unemployment, having to go back home, has been worse for Black and Latina women. Disproportionately affected them. And again, this is because of child care. Now, let's look at the reality of normal times and women leaving the workforce because of family, because that happens every year, pandemic or not. 90% of career reentry candidates are female, says Carol Fishman-Cohen, the CEO and co-founder of iRelaunch, a company that creates corporate career reentry programs. And so I want to address women that have had to go home and women that want to go home, but have an eye to the future. I want to get back in. We get this call a lot. I would say once a week we get a call from a woman who says, hey, Ken, I went home to be with the kids and I want to get back in. And it is terrifying for many because you've been out for a long time and a couple of things start to pop in your head. Am I still relevant is the one we get a lot here on the show. I don't know anybody. I don't have connections is another one we hear a lot. So some good things here. I'm going to run through these really quick. So before you decide to go home, I thought these were really interesting. I can give you many thoughts on what to do to reenter, but this is some thinking about. This is something to be thinking about. Be certain this is the right move. Carrie Rattle, a financial therapist, says have a really hardcore conversation to be sure that not only short-term but long-term, this is the right move for your family to leave the professional workforce. Number two, start documenting. Once you've definitely decided that a career break is in your future, start documenting, keeping track of what your current role entails. I love the suggestion because many times when women call the program saying, Ken, I feel like I'm not relevant, I will walk them through what they used to do. And I'll have them tell me what they were talented at doing and what they did. And then I will show them you didn't lose the ability to do that. You have vital and valuable experience. So document so that when you do reenter, you go, hey, I got a quick snapshot. I've got a lot to offer. 3, take stock of your network. Well, listen, don't lose touch with people. You could go home and be a full-time mom, ladies, or do whatever you want to do, but don't lose touch with people. I love that you're deciding to take a different path and embark on a new chapter. But that doesn't mean that you just stop staying in touch with people. That's going to become really, really valuable. So good thoughts there. And I would just add, if you've decided that it's right for you to leave the workforce right now, then don't just decide. Totally embrace it. Take the break. Become the best mom you can be, or whatever it is that you're pursuing, the best wife, whatever is causing you to leave, be all in on that. And know that when it's time to reenter, if that time presents itself or you desire to do it, then you can. And I just throw a little nugget out here. You can call me when you're ready to reenter, but I'll give you a few things to do. Always keep an eye on some skills that maybe you could burnish, just kind of polish, or add new skills when you get closer to maybe moving back in. Keep those connections and that web of connections active. And then take this time to go, what do I really want to do? If I go back into the professional sector, what is my sweet spot? How can I use what I do best to do work I love, to accomplish results that matter to me? Talent, passion, mission. Let me call Ken when I'm ready. He'll help me. And you're right. 844-747-2577, 844-747-2577. I want to point out, I've got the old YouTube channel up live right here in front of me, boys. And I'm watching the chat room here, so you never know when I might give you a shout out. If you're enjoying the conversation, I'm gonna really push some of you. I'm gonna challenge some of you later to really think about how raising the minimum wage can hurt some of you and some of the people that you love. You're going, wait a second, Ken. How could paying people more money actually be anti-human? That's what you said at the top of the program. I'm going to explain it, but I'm going to give you real numbers. This isn't an opinion, and it's not political. It's economics, and I'm going to explain it. You don't want to miss that. 844-747-2577. All right, let's go to the phones. Christine joins us in Dallas, Texas. Christine, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken. How are you?
I am living the dream, Christine. What's going on with you?
Awesome. So funny that you opened up with the moms wanting to re-enter the workforce. I've been at home with my son for the last 2.5-ish years.
Okay.
And I'm looking to re-enter the workforce, but not physically. I'm a designer, so graphic design, UX design, and there's a lot of opportunities to do work from home remote. I would still obviously we're going to bring my mom home so she can watch him to take care of childcare, and I can actually focus on work.
Great.
But my question is, I was reviewing your resume tips and tricks, and the one that talks about who I know. I'm applying for jobs, or I'm looking to apply for jobs that are in like totally different states, and I might not have connections with some of these companies.
Gotcha.
So how do I still fill that spot when I'm applying for a company who I don't have a connection with?
Gotcha. Okay. When you cannot find it, I want you to look. I really want you to go all in and look, because you might be surprised. Okay. But let's say that you really work your web of connections, that's social media, acquaintances, way beyond your personal life, close connections. Okay. Let's say you don't have any connection to somebody who works in these companies. At this point, you're going for graphic and UX design positions. So I want you to leverage some really great recommendations. Endorsements is what I actually call it. I want the top of your resume, when it says who I know, I want somebody to look at that and they see an incredible endorsement from a creative director at a really great agency in Dallas or I'm giving you see what I'm saying? So if
yeah.
so they at least go, oh, this is from the CEO of a big time agency in Dallas.
Right.
Oh, wow, that's impressive. So in lieu of a direct connection to the company, we want that hiring manager or even an HR person on the first level to look at that and go, oh, that's an unbelievable endorsement from a big shot
Right.
agency that has some credibility. And by the way, I don't talk about this enough, and I'm glad you brought this up. When you put the endorsement out there, remember, it's your resume, and it already looks different. My resume really makes people look at it because you've never seen anything like this before.
Exactly.
All right, so that's a good thing. So you got the eyeballs. So when you write the endorsement, it could say, and I'm making this up, but it would say, Christine is the most versatile and creative and talented UX designer that our company has ever had. We absolutely cried when she left because she was so valuable. I'm making this up, okay? Whatever. All right? But we want it to be a really good personal endorsement, right? Where it has some real emotion to it, and tell people that. Like, just what would you say to somebody if they called you? All right. Now, when the endorsement is done, and let's say the gal's name is Linda Smith. Okay, she was the CEO of this agency. All right. So you would write Linda Smith, CEO of, the blank blank agency, Dallas, Texas, and you could put, and what you need to put in parentheses, largest ad agency in Dallas. Like, give that person
like
all
a
the
little
facts.
hint.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with doing that. I'm already changing the rules of resumes, and it's awesome.
Right.
So go ahead and use those endorsements and make sure the person reading that goes, oh, that's not just some hole-in-the-wall agency in Red Dirt, Texas.
Right. It's a notable.
That's what I mean by who I know.
Okay.
If you don't have a direct connection, put in the
Which
most.
is best. Like, search for one that's in the company, but second best is getting some kind of endorsement from
and do a mix.
a reputable
Yes.
company. Okay.
You got it. Here's why.
Cool.
You are now getting a strong endorsement from somebody who is credible, and it's a relevant reference. It's not your high school football coach or, field hockey coach or whatever. You see what I'm saying? It's like, this isn't your shop teacher who just had a great relationship, whatever. No, this is a legitimate professional.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
All right.
Yeah, you got it.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's
excited
great.
for you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for the call. 844-747-2577. Milwaukee, Wisconsin is where Jacob is. Jacob, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken. Good to talk to you. How's it going?
I'm living the dream, Jacob. What's going on with you?
Hey, so I'm 31 years old. I've been working at this job for 5 years as a customer-facing engineer. I've had good relationships with my managers and leaders, and we've worked on kind of a growth plan in this time.
Good.
Putting me towards project management, which is what I'm interested in.
Okay.
However, recently there have been quite a few layoffs, a few rounds of layoffs, and the most recent one has eliminated the leadership positions, as well as some of the mentors that I've been working with in the field and in my role. So I have also recently received a job offer from in the same field, kind of towards that project management, and I'm just, I'm not sure if I should make that change, knowing that I don't have the same relationships at the current company, and this new opportunity would sort of build towards that end goal. I kind of feel like some of that progress has been totally reset with management that doesn't really, have that same relationship with me or understand how my current department works.
Yeah. Well, my opinion is always take the step that you believe puts you further down the path or puts you on the right ladder to take the next step up. So don't overthink it. So before you called me today, what were you thinking?
I'm leaning towards taking the job. I mean, as you say, kind of follow your guts.
Yeah. So why wouldn't you? Let's have some fun with this. Why wouldn't you take the new job?
Yeah, my apprehension is, in losing some of the connections that I've got at this current company, especially within my team. I'm very good at my job. Hold on a second. I'll lose some of that.
Hold on a second. You just, I think, told me and our audience that your strongest connections are gone. The leadership connections above you, those are gone.
Yeah.
Okay. So are those connections better for your long-term growth than your current teammates while you love them and you value them? They're not the ones that are going to be able to move you up the ladder. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then. All right. So that to me is not a legit reason to not take the new job. I'm glad you shared it with me. I'm not trying to discount your feelings. I'm trying to help you see the facts so you get your feelings out of the way. The most vital relationships for your advancement are gone. That's why you're considering the new position.
Yeah.
So to me, what has happened is the leadership positions, the people that have left the company because of job layoffs or whatever, those are the people that were invested in you and your growth. Yes or no?
Yes.
They're gone. So now it's a level playing field. There's no difference between your current place of employment and this new job opportunity as it relates to relationship advantage. There's no other than just you like your team, but that has nothing to do with your advancement. So the question becomes, do you have a gut, and do you really trust your gut that taking this new job will allow you to move up the ladder faster?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I feel. Really, the only other thing would be the stability in having the performance that I have currently versus being the new kid on the block.
Yeah, but again, is that a feeling or is that a fact that that's a reality?
I think it's a feeling.
Yeah, good man, dude. You're awesome. Thank you for being honest. It's not true. There's no stability. I don't think there's stability in your current company. Your leaders have been let go, right?
Yeah.
I mean, hello. You're just scared. And it's okay. It's okay to be scared being the new guy. It's okay to be scared leaving comfort and moving into uncomfort. It's okay. It's natural. But either you believe in yourself or you don't. And I think the other company's probably more stable just on the surface. And if you believe in yourself to go in and do the job, then there's more stability in my mind with the new gig. And I think you know that. Am I right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
So you called me to give you a nudge or to go, stop, don't do that, Jacob. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think you're doing anything risky. I don't think you're being careless. I think you're being very, very, very thoughtful, and I appreciate the call. I'm your coach, and coach says, go play ball. Go to the new team. That's where you're supposed to be. Don't even think about it. You've already thought about it enough. Is the offer on the table?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, what are you doing right after this call? What's on your calendar?
Probably counteroffer.
Yeah, go. I mean, like right now. Boom, just put him on hold. Be free. Jacob, fly. I just nudged you out of the nest. That's why you called. Go do it. Call him right now. Look, I can still see him. Jacob, I'm not talking to you on the air, but I can see you're still in the system. Madison, tell Jacob I said, after he's done with whatever business you always do with somebody after I give them to you, please tell him to call those people right now. Let's go. Don't think about it anymore. Do it. 844-747-2577. All right. Quick break. And when we come back, why minimum wage increases, mandated increases, are anti-human, and how they're really going to hurt a lot of you. That is coming up. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs.
We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org.
We absolutely believe in it.
Welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show. I'm coming to you from our Ramsey Solutions studios in Nashville. Thrilled to have you with us. 844-747-2577. Big news. Oh, this is exciting. We are bringing the Get Hired event, which was a huge success. Back in the middle of the pandemic, we just addressed people were losing jobs right and left, furlough, getting laid off. And we said, okay, here's how you beat the competition because the unemployment market just got turned upside down. And so we did the event, huge success, and we're going to do it again. Get Hired. What is the Get Hired event? Well, if you're stuck in the sense that you feel like I'm not making any progress, there's a lid on me, I don't see any room for growth. If you are disengaged, you don't hate your job, you're grateful for it, but feel like it's just a job. I'm bored. I'm just kind of, there's no connection. I don't love it. If you are unemployed, looking for work, if you are thinking about returning to the workforce, like the caller we had earlier, this event is for you. This event is the advantage. This gives you a leg up. Now, saw some data yesterday. There are 16 potential workers, 16 people that are unemployed for every job that is available in the United States. Joe, that's a big flip. A year ago, we had more jobs before the pandemic hit. We had more jobs available than there were people who are unemployed. It was a totally different market. Right now, economy is coming back. It is getting better. And I believe you're going to see a big boom as each state opens up, hopefully in the next month or two. Okay, so great news. This Get Hired event is coming to you April 27th at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay, live streaming to you wherever you are. And for many of you, this is right when you need it because the economy is going to be opening up even more so. And so I just described all the type of people. If you just want to get hired, whether you're trying to move up or you're trying to get started again, or you just want to try some things, you're kind of bored and just kind of stagnant, and I'm ready to try some things, and you want to get hired, you want to beat the competition, I'm going to give you a deep dive event with real practical strategies. We're going to have a live crowd here in Nashville. So if you want to come to the Nashville event, or you want to tune in from anywhere around the world, tickets start at just $20 on sale now. We had a huge crowd, thousands and thousands of people last year, and I'm looking for another great crowd. It's going to be a fun event, and this is for you or somebody you know. Gift it to them. Tickets start at only $20 just for the live stream, and you can get them at daveramsey.com/events. That's the mothership, Ramsey Solutions. Go to daveramsey.com/events, and you'll see the Get Hired event. Get your ticket now. Don't think about it. Don't wait. $20. We have different tiers. We got some really cool VIP options again at the website, daveramsey.com/events for you or for somebody you love. And if somebody's down in your life, why don't you gift it to them? The bargain basic just to get in and watch it, $20. And they'll be able to watch it later as well, multiple watches. So daveramsey.com/events to get in for the Get Hired event. It's going to be April the 27th, 7, so 8 Eastern, 7 Central. 8 Eastern, 7 Central. daveramsey.com/events. Okay, I'm addressing this issue that is a political issue. This is not a political show. I'm not all of a sudden changing this show and wanting to get political. However, there are issues that are political in nature that have a practical impact on you folks. I am a man of the people. I will always be a man of the people. I don't care who came up with the legislation. I don't care who's wrong or right on the legislation. As a matter of fact, I'll tell you on this issue, this is an area where both parties in America, Republicans and Democrats, conservatives and liberals, are not looking at this issue holistically. They are looking at it politically for their bases. So Republicans, I'm going to just call it out right this time. Let me just go ahead and offend everybody so then you can actually listen to what I'm about to say. Republicans are big time wrong on this issue because all they're going to do is beat it up and say that it's bad economics and it's bad for small businesses, which is true. But what they don't do is come up with an alternative to help people get jobs. They're just going to debate their Democrat colleagues. Democrats or liberals, whatever you want to call them, they don't look at this holistically either. They just say, this is good for the working person. This is going to help them make more money. It's going to become a living wage. And they're just catering to their base. They're wrong. Because it's actually going to cost jobs. It's actually going to take opportunity from the very people that I believe Democrats do want to help. So I'm not demonizing Democrats and I'm not demonizing Republicans. But it's all political posturing designed to make their political bases happy. I don't care about your political wins. I don't care about you getting reelected. I care about people having the opportunity to work and get on the ladder and then work their way up. And this minimum wage issue is right at this point. And so now let's break down the realities now that I've gotten all of those of you who want to take shots at me. You can. Don't care. By the way, you can jump in the chat room. Davey's already said something here. So you can jump in the chat room. If you get my attention, maybe I'll say something about it. But I'm not interested in hate. Now let's just do the facts. You ready? I'm making the case that raising the minimum wage and forcing federal legislation that raises the minimum wage, no matter how much you raise it. Right now it's $7.25. Let's set this. $7.25 an hour is the federal minimum wage. State by state, states can raise the minimum wage, but there is a federal guideline that applies all the states, and that's the federal minimum right now. The legislation that Bernie Sanders and others are pushing this week, may come out this week before the House and the Senate, we'll see, is to raise to $15 an hour. Sounds really good, but let's look at the facts. First of all, 1.9% of all hourly paid workers are on minimum wage. 1.9%. So you would think it's millions and millions and millions and millions of hourly workers are on minimum wage. They're not. Let's just be honest. 1.9% of hourly workers are on minimum wage at $7.25 an hour, actually making the federal minimum wage. 1.9%. Now, who is in the 1.9%? Glad you asked. They're young people. These are teenagers up to the age of 25. So 16 to 19-year-olds, and then you've got your early 20s. So who is that? Number one, those are people that are starting. Teenagers, starting out. They're just getting a job. They're not thinking sweet spot right now, nor should they be per se. They're just going to get some money to pay for a car, some gas, maybe their girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is. They're starting out. They're starters, kids, teenagers. And then if you're under the age of 25 and you're in an hourly wage job, there's a reason for that too. Maybe you come from an impoverished community of no fault of your own. Maybe you've been, life has kind of thrown a lot of curves at you and you're behind the eight ball. Maybe it's a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance. Folks, can we just be real? The people that are in these minimum wage jobs, it's an opportunity for them to get started. You're going, well, yeah, Ken, absolutely. That's why $7.25 for that 25-year-old, they can't live on that. Well, okay. Maybe they work 3 jobs. I'm sorry. Here's what happens when we make that emotional argument. What happens when you tell a small business that they've got to pay what they've been paying somebody to do for $7.25 an hour to $15? They double the wage. 2 things happen. Number one, the small business has to adjust. They don't have a ton of money sitting around to absorb the cost. If they felt it was good for their business to pay somebody double, don't you think they would? Yes, they would. They're not Scrooges So here's what happens. They have to increase their cost, which gets passed along to you. And they have to cut expenses, which means they start cutting the jobs that we're talking about right here. The 1.9% of the ones that get affected the most. They don't get a chance to start. They don't get a chance to restart. And that's devastating. And let me tell you something. You don't think there's billionaires, all you people out there that are, you call yourself, you're kind of more on the liberal side. You go, oh, that's wrong. Well, guess what? The people that you demonize, the billionaires, they're going to come up with a way to automate those jobs and sell the automation through artificial intelligence or whatever it is, automation, artificial intelligence, both. They're going to sell those technologies to small businesses, and small businesses are going to have to do it to stay open. So understand that it sounds really great, but there doesn't need to be a minimum wage, in that a person can jump in anywhere in America and begin to work and prove their value and then grow their salary. But when you force a federal increase in minimum wage, you are going to do two things: increase cost, which leads to inflation, and then you are going to force small business owners to cut jobs. And the very people who need that minimum $7.25 an hour are going to lose their opportunity and stay behind, as opposed to getting in, feeling good about themselves by earning a wage and moving up and getting an increase. So I want you to understand what's really going on here. It will hurt the very people that the minimum wage is supposedly designed to help. The Congressional Budget Office. Understand this, folks. This is nonpartisan. Congressional Budget Office. Doesn't matter who's in power. They run numbers. They're anticipating a loss of 1.4 million jobs if the minimum wage gets increased from $7.25 to $15 an hour. 1.4 million starters and restarters that don't get the opportunity to work. Further contracting the job market. These are real numbers. It's not Ken Coleman's opinion, folks. I don't care who, on which side of the political aisle is proposing this. What we need to do is allow small business owners to hire as many people as possible. We need to open them up. We need to give them tax incentives or other incentives to hire these young people and get them in the workforce, to hire people who are restarting in their life. Give them a chance to earn a wage. It's not a living wage. It's a starting wage. It's always been a starting wage, not a living wage. If you're behind the eight ball, you may have to work 3 and 4 jobs. I'm watching American Idol the other night, folks. It ended with a beautiful story of a young lady talking about her mom having to work 3 jobs. They weren't minimum wage, but they were hourly wage jobs. She had to work 3 jobs to take care of her and her sister. Now they're on the other side of this. The minimum wage or hourly wage work is not meant to be the starting minimum wage or the starting hourly wage. Starting. It's a start. So if you're restarting your life, you may have to work 2 or 3 jobs. I get it. I wish you could fix it. But folks, you cannot just legislate and play on the political emotions of people to make bad policy that's actually going to hurt the very people that need the lower hourly wage jobs just to get started and get in. We got to understand this. And one other thing on this. Well, can Amazon and Costco can afford to? Yeah, they can. So they probably will, and they've announced it. But let me tell you why. Oh, this is one other point nobody wants to talk about. Costco and Amazon, they'll promote this like crazy. You know why? It's going to push out the small business owner. It's going to push out the mom and pop. If you're okay pushing out the mom and pop and the small businesses, because Costco and Amazon can't absorb the increase in minimum wage without even feeling it. If you're okay for big business gobbling up and crippling and eliminating small businesses, great. Then you tell your congressman you're for a minimum wage increase. But if you want to give small businesses the chance to compete, and win and help people in your community, wake up. Don't let politics overshadow math and economics and real numbers. That is why the minimum wage increase is anti-human. It's going to usher in automation and artificial intelligence. You watch it. It's already happening. I went to a McDonald's a year ago, pre-pandemic in Manhattan, and I didn't see one person, Joe. I looked in the window, saw kiosks everywhere, not one person. So I asked somebody. They were like, oh yeah, there's 4 cooks in the back. That's it. Why? Because at some point, McDonald's, billions and billions of dollars, figured out it's cheaper for us to use automation and technology than to hire a young person or a middle-aged person or an older person just trying to get back on their feet, trying to just have some self-worth. Now, we don't need them. And by the way, as soon as they figure out how to cook burgers cheaper than the guys in the back, they're going to do it. Hey, folks, so some of you got your feathers ruffled because I said some trigger words. I don't care. This is not a Republican comment. This is not a Democrat comment. This isn't a liberal comment. This isn't a conservative comment. This is a human comment. I am trying to implore you to understand how this kind of legislation impacts all of us. We the people. I want the very people that need the chance to have the chance. And this minimum wage hike is not the way to do it. If business owners thought that paying their people more would increase their performance, they do, and they will. But entry level is entry level. Let's let the economy, let's let capitalism do its thing. It's actually for the people. Well, those are my thoughts. And that is about you, the worker, your kids, your family members, people in our community that I don't know that need a chance, that should not be replaced by a computer. I'm all for technology, but I got to tell you something. As it relates to bad policy, which forces automation and AI to take away opportunities for humans and remove human-to-human contact, can I tell you, I am not for that. I am pro-human. Stick that in your political pipe and smoke it. My time is almost up. But before I let you go, you matter and you have what it takes. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.